On November 5, 1975, Crew Chief Michael H. Rogers reported Travis Walton missing to the Navajo County Sheriff. 6 members of the crew claimed they were driving down a forest road when they saw a lit object above the ground near the roadway. They reported that Walton got out of the truck and ran towards the object, which shone a light on him. They said they drove away in fear, only to return 15 minutes later to find both Walton and the light missing. At 7:45 p.m., a member of the logging crew called Officer L.C. Ellison, Sheriff Marlon Gillespie, and Deputy Kenneth Copeland drove to Heber to meet with the loggers. Rogers and 2 crew members agreed to return to Turkey Springs with the 3 officers, while the 3 other crew members refused to return and instead drove home in Rogers' vehicle. The 5 men searched Turkey Springs until shortly after midnight, when Sheriff Gillespie paused the search until the morning. Around 1:30 a.m., Navajo County Deputy Sheriff Kenneth Copeland and Rogers visited Walton's mother. According to Copeland, when he informed her of the disappearance, she said, "Well, that's the way these things happen." Copeland said he was shocked by how calmly she took the news and her general lack of surprise. Walton, his older brother Dwayne, and his mother were described by the sheriff as longtime students of UFOs, because Travis Walton's mother lived in a ranch house without telephone service. Rogers drove her into town so she could call Travis' brother Dwayne and their sister while Copeland followed. Around 3 a.m., Walton's mother called her daughter, waking her. Deputy Copeland was again shocked at how well Travis' family took the news. The following day, November the 7th, a search party of nearly 50 people scoured the Turkey Springs area, but failed to find Travis or any signs of an altercation. Law enforcement were surprised when, after a few hours, Travis' mother told them, "I don't think there is any use of looking any further. He's not around here. I don't think he's on this earth." Sheriff Gillespie then dismissed the volunteers. However, the following morning, November the 8th, Rogers and Dwayne Walton complained in person about the discontinued search. As a result, Sheriff Gillespie assembled another search party, which included a helicopter. Regional papers covered the story on November the 8th, and that day, a member of a Phoenix-based UFO interest group recorded a 65-minute interview with crew chief Mike Rogers and Travis' older brother Dwayne Walton. At no point during the interview did either express any fear or concern for Travis. Rather, they expressed confidence that Travis would be returned. During the interview, Rogers discussed the forestry contract, saying, "This contract we have is seriously behind schedule. In fact, Monday, the time is up. We haven't done any work on it since Wednesday because of this thing, and therefore it won't be done. I hope they take that into account." Forestry contracts included an act of God clause that excused contractors who were delinquent due to unforeseeable circumstances. During the interview, Dwayne revealed that he, Travis, and their mother were UFO buffs who had previously discussed that if they ever saw a UFO, they would immediately get directly under the object because the opportunity to go aboard a UFO would be too great to pass up. Dwayne repeatedly insisted that Travis was not even missing. "He knows where he's at and I know where he's at." On November the 9th, law enforcement continued the search for Travis until late afternoon when Walton's mother again requested the search be halted. By November the 10th, stories of Walton's disappearance were being published throughout the US, UK, and Canada. On November the 11th, the press reported that Travis' mother felt any further searching for Travis would be useless. Also on November the 11th, Rogers and the 5 other members of the forestry crew were interrogated by Arizona Deputy Public Safety Polygraph Examiner C.E. Gilson to determine if the men had murdered Travis Walton. All denied having harmed Travis. Gilson opined that 5 out of the 6 men were being truthful, and described results for the 6th man, Alan Dallas, as inconclusive. On November the 12th, shortly after midnight, Walton placed a collect call to his sister's home from a payphone in Heber, Arizona. He reached her husband, Grant Neff, who then drove to pick up Duane, and proceeded to Heber to pick up Travis. Neff later reported he initially thought the caller was intoxicated. As part of the collect call procedure, Travis told the operator his name. She recognized his name as that of the missing man and alerted Sheriff Gillespie, who dispatched a deputy to the family ranch house. Deputy Glenn Flake arrived at 2 a.m., where he witnessed Duane Walton transferring fuel from one car to another after having forgotten to purchase gas before local stations closed. Flake did not reveal that they knew Travis had returned home, and Duane did not tell the deputy that Travis had been found. Seeking medical attention for Travis, Duane reached out to a UFO researcher he'd met days prior. The researcher referred them to Dr. Lester Stewart, a hypnotherapist. Duane took Travis to meet with Stewart, but his first words were that Travis needed a medical examination with lab tests, and was not ready for hypnotic regression. Stewart noted that Travis seemed very confused and reminiscent of drug addicts he'd treated. Stewart also noted that Travis had a small lesion on the inside crease of his right elbow, consistent with intravenous drug use. After meeting with Stewart, the Waltons returned to Duane's home where UFO researchers arranged a house call by two medical doctors, who were also amateur UFO investigators. When they arrived at 3 p.m., Duane forbade them to use their camera or tape recorder, nor would he allow them to ask Travis questions about his experience. The doctors noted the presence of the apparent puncture mark, and estimated it to be 24 to 48 hours old. That day, stories of Travis' return had begun to spread, and press began calling Duane's home in an attempt to reach Travis. Duane finally informed law enforcement of Travis' return, calling Sheriff Gillespie, who insisted on seeing Travis immediately. The sheriff drove the 4 hours into Glendale and arrived at 11 p.m. Duane and Travis demanded that Sheriff Gillespie not record the interview. After a local UFO group facilitated the connection, Duane and Travis moved into a suite at the Sheraton Inn in Scottsdale. Costs were covered by the National Enquirer, in exchange for exclusive access to Walton and his story. On November the 14th, Travis skipped a polygraph interview with police, but that night, in the presence of Enquirer reporters, a doctor associated with the UFO group had a 2-hour conversation with the hypnotized Travis about the incident. The following day, November the 15th, Travis was interviewed by Jack McCarthy, a freelance polygraph examiner arranged by a UFO group in the Enquirer. McCarthy concluded that Travis was engaged in a gross deception and had even been intentionally holding his breath in an attempt to beat the machine. On November the 22nd, Travis appeared on Phoenix television station Cool, where he was interviewed about the incident. Travis claimed that he lost consciousness when struck by a beam of light, and that he awoke in a hospital-like room, being observed by 3 short, bald creatures. He says that he fought with them, until a human wearing a helmet led Walton to another room, where he blacked out as 3 other humans put a clear plastic mask over his face. Walton has said that he remembers nothing else until he found himself walking along a highway 5 days later, with the flying saucer departing above him.